Howdy, friends. Do you think that the days of Wild Wild West are over? I dare to say that those days are alive and very well. They are in Russia now. In today's Russia. Right in the country. We can see them happening every single day. In today's live stream, I'll tell you how Russian government is acting toward the Western companies and some individuals, and I will explain why I think that the Wild Wild West days are on and will stay in Russia for quite some time. Howdy, friends. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. That is me. You will not find here propaganda, BS, or lies. You will find truth, common sense, and logic as usual. And some emotions, because I am a human being after all. We'll talk of business. We'll talk of Russian government. We'll talk of Wild Wild West. And let me jump straight to the message. You know, I was born in the USSR and I grew up in Russia. And I was born in the mid-70s and I was growing up in the early 90s, mid-90s. And I remember those days very, very well. Then, in 1996, I ended up moving to the USA for quite a few years. And I clearly remember that feeling of watching American life and being shocked by the difference with Russia. There were so many things different. But if you ask me to name the biggest difference, one thing and one thing only, I'd tell you without a blink in my eyes. The law and order. Russia back then in the 90s was wild, wild west. Complete freedom to do anything as the government collapsed. And almost zero protection from anything. Everyone was in the process of war with everyone. There was simply no law and order in Russia back then. Police was weak, and it was definitely not a source of protection for the citizens. It definitely was not a force to rely on. People didn't call police, because police was not to show up and protect them. Anyone with a gun, and I remind you that owning guns in Russia was strictly illegal, but all the bad guys owned them, and some good guys too. So anyone with a gun could rob you blind, take everything you had, even your life, and it happened every single day. And courts existed, but they did not work. Judges' decisions were up for sale, believe it or not. In order to get a fair court ruling, it was possible, but you'd have to be in business with someone powerful, or you'd have to be a relative of someone powerful, or you'd have to be in the mafia. But then, if you were in the mafia or a relative or a business partner, no one would touch you anyway. You were on your own in Russia, and anything went. And I remember people in the 90s, my parents, their friends, everyone on the street, older people saying, hey, it's Wild Wild West. And you know what? It felt exactly like that. It felt like Wild West. Then I came to the USA and I saw how law and order should work. There was law and order. And it was equal to everyone. No one was above the law. No matter who you were, a janitor, a famous athlete, a CEO of a company, or a president. No one was above the law. That was such a new concept to me, and it was absolutely incredible. Many Americans I talked to took it for granted, as they didn't know anything besides that system, that no one was above the law, as it existed everywhere, according to them. You know, they had nothing to compare it with. They were born and raised in a system of law and order, and it was not the case everywhere. I definitely had something to compare with. I had Russia to compare with the USA. Shortly after landing in the USA, I started working, and I was fascinated how private property was protected, and they were rules of the game for everyone that everyone has followed. Private property was protected, police was there to protect you, and courts worked fairly. It was fascinating. To do business in the USA compared to Russia in the 90s seemed so easy. It was risk-free compared to where I was coming from. When you were doing business in Russia back then, it wasn't about making money. It was about staying alive after you made the money, okay? So anyway, this is just a little introduction to you. Let's fast forward to 2022. Russian government changed overnight. It changed itself, it changed Russia, it changed the rules of the game, it changed everything. By invading Ukraine, attacking Ukraine on February 24th, 2022, Russian government, Vladimir Putin, his clique, they crossed the Rubicon, so to speak. Many things changed, including Russian government's attitude towards everything Western. It started doing things to the Western businesses and to the foreigners. Well, when I heard of them, I immediately thought, oh, wait a second. I heard that music before. Back to the 90s. The 90s, when there was no law and no order, no protection. You couldn't rely on police, on courts. The wild, wild west days, they were back, but with one huge difference. You see, back in the 90s, the lawlessness was unintentional as the old system was collapsing and Russians were trying to build a new system. They were reinventing the wheel, so to speak, So this mess that was going on in the country was not intentional. Now, currently, these days, Russian government knows exactly what it's doing to the Western businesses and exactly how it's targeting them in a very efficient way. Now, let me tell you a story of what has been happening with the businesses that came to Russia, stayed in Russia, fared well in Russia, and then decided to leave after Russia changed to evil. This is what's happened. At first, things were moving slowly. Russian officials, Russian politicians simply did not believe that Western companies could believe in Russia. Well, first of all, Russian politicians didn't believe that this war could last for 20 months. Everyone thought, hey, it would be over in a couple of weeks because, hey, Ukraine doesn't have an army, and it's just a quick in and out operation, in changing the president, doing the parade in Kiev, and out, okay? So this would not have it would not affect anything. Wrong. So Russian politicians did not expect that most businesses from the West, would leave. They were saying, oh, all they care about is just a buck. And then, without much noise, the companies started leaving. And I remember IKEA, March 2nd. Without much fanfare, it announced, hey, we don't want to do business in Russia anymore. Russia sucks. We're closing our stores day after tomorrow. And that was it. And they meant business. They did close their stores in a couple days. It was like a cold shower for everyone. It's like, was this possible? IKEA? I mean, IKEA built shopping malls, okay? Russia's best prime shopping malls belonged to IKEA. Okay, and the IKEA stores were inside of those shopping malls. How can they leave like that? They did. And I give it to the Swedes. You people are awesome. Okay, so the next one was Apple, and then the next one was McDonald's, the next one was Siemens, and the companies started following them. The rest of the foreign businesses followed. That angered the politicians very, very much. Oh, I remember the change in their mood. They were looking at the businesses leaving just like that in front of their eyes, and they were saying, oh my gosh, they're going to come back in a couple of weeks. We will see if they will let them come back. We are taking notes who left Russia. They started, just talking the talk at first, but very, very quickly they turned into making laws that would put fines on those companies who are exiting Russia. So they did it for two reasons. First of all, they wanted to put some kind of punishment on those leaving, and second, they wanted to prevent the Western companies from leaving Russia. And this is their big, dirty secret. Because, you see, those double-faced scumbags, they knew that the Western businesses leaving Russia would be disastrous for the country, for the consumers, for the markets, despite, what they were telling on Russian TV. Oh, let them leave. It's so great. We'll be fine. Russian companies, the new companies will be formed, and then they will, take over the market shares of those who will leave, No, it was not fine. And they knew that because they're not stupid, They're lying scumbags, but they know exactly what's going on in Russia. So they started doing their best, absolute best, preventing the companies from leaving. First of all, what they did, they made it very costly and in some cases impossible. The prime example of the impossibility to leave Russia is Raiffeisen Bank from Austria. It's still operating in Russia, but not out of desire to make a buck, but it's being blackmailed by the Russian government. If it exits, some of the top managers will be punished, possibly imprisoned, and there are possibly other blackmails going on. So they started fining first, and then a lot of Russian politicians, the officials, they saw this incredible opportunities. Well, what's disaster for one man is an opportunity for another. What's trash for one man could be possibly a treasure for another. Okay, so, and I'm not saying it in a good way, in a bad way, So, lots of people, the greedy ones, they figured, hey, if they leave, we will take their properties, form our own businesses, say we don't have to do much, everything is already there. The production facilities, the technologies, and so forth, and let them leave. We'll steal everything after they leave. And I'll give you examples, okay? Renault, a French car manufacturer, it was investing billions and billions of euros into Russia for over a decade. And then, overnight, it stopped doing business in Russia and it sold its facilities, all its facilities that were worth about 3.5 billion euro for €1 to the Moscow government. The details have not been made public, but most likely they sold their facilities for a safe way out, for the safe passage, so to speak. The facility is there, but the technology is not. They simply destroyed the software that runs the robots, the manufacturing robots, and it's basically metal, cannot be used. But no worries, Japanese manufacturers have come in, and I'm pretty sure that they made sweet deals with people in the Moscow government, and they're using Renault facilities to assemble their own cars that they manufacture in China and calling them Moskvich, okay? Another example is a company called Carlsberg. It's a Dutch company, and it's a huge, huge beer. It's a brewer, brews beer, and its beers are world famous and, sold everywhere, so to speak. And Carlsberg bought a local brewery, and it started with one brewery in St. Petersburg in the 90s. And then it was expanding. Over 2.5 decades, it was expanding, and it became one of Russia's largest breweries. Magnificent company. The best technology. Beer, when I used to drink, when I drank beer, actually, I would have a Carlsberg here and there. Good beer. Very good beer. Guess what happened? The company was simply stolen. It was still operating in Russia, and it was looking for a way out. And all of a sudden, the general director was replaced with a new one. With Russian police, with Russian court order, they just took over the company. You can call it hostile takeover, but it's not. It's illegal takeover, okay? And Carlsberg simply does not control its property. It's a huge company. It's a multi-billion-euro company. Putin's close friend, a businessman from St. Petersburg, his name is Taimuraz Baloyev, was put in charge of Baltica. And, well, guess who money is going to? Guess who approved the decision? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that, Another example, pretty much similar story with a French company called Danone, and it's a huge manufacturer of yogurt and dairy products. Same scenario. Danone was simply stolen from the French, and Ramzan Kadyrov's nephew, Yakub Zakriev, the deputy prime minister of Ministry of Agriculture of Chechnya Republic of Russia, was put in charge of Danone, I'm sorry. There are other examples as well. It's just these are big ones, and you most likely have heard of these companies. Also, there are other examples. Well, I'll just give you some. For example, company Indesit, I believe it's Italian manufacturer of home appliances. Whirlpool, American company, also manufactures appliances. Philip Morris, all their production facilities were either sold to other companies on pennies for dollar, or were stolen. And the list goes on. What is illegal in the eyes of common and in the eyes of the world, what is illegal and what doesn't make any sense everywhere in the world has been made legal in Russia. See, these crooks, They simply changed some laws or amended some laws in Russia to legitimize their actions. And I think that they gotten away with it. In Russia they have, but not in the rest of the world. Another disaster, another robbery, what's going on right now, and it's not talked about much. It's re-registration of international brands, Western brands in Russia. Lately there's been a growth of applications for registration of international brands from Russian companies and sole proprietors. In total, more than 50 such applications are filed in courts so far. And let me just name you a few brands that Russian crooks want to re-register in Russia and make them belong to them, okay? For example, it's called localization of a brand. And the logic behind this localization of a brand is this. These Western companies are no good because they are owned and located in the evil satanic West. And they left. But we might use their brands. Why not? So we will register them in Russian courts. And will we use them? And these brands are MasterCard, American Express, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Levi's jeans, the Christian Dior, Shiseido, Clarins, and others, what the Russians are doing, some applications, they alter a tiny detail, like one letter. Okay, for example, instead of letter S, they put letter Z, something like that, and they re-register as their own brand. Well, at least they're altering somehow, and others are just stealing, okay? Plain stealing. Look at these examples. Sky Vodka. If you drink vodka, you must have heard of Sky. It's a Scandinavian vodka. That's actually very good. It's like Mercedes of vodkas. It's expensive and it's good quality. Your head doesn't hurt afterwards if you drink Sky. I remember I had it before. It's owned by American company Campari. Well, I think it's Italian, but also owned by American company. Well, guess what happens with Sky Vodka? It is being distilled in Russia, but it has nothing to do with the owner of Sky brand. It's a local bootleggers. They are putting Sky name, and they are putting the colors, the brand, everything. Or there's another alcohol. It's called Patron Tequila. It's a brand owned by Bacardi, a very large alcohol brand owning company. Its Patron is premium tequila as far as I understand, but it's being distilled in Russia. And there's another example. You've heard of Jägermeister. It's a German drink, owned by the company Otto, and it's distilled by Otto. Well, not so fast. Jägermeister now is a Russian brand. It looks the same, it's called the same, and of course inside it's not Jägermeister. It is liquid crap, okay? But it's called Jägermeister, and the Otto tried to approach Russian courts and stop Jägermeister from being distilled in Russia. No luck, at least so far. Simply local Russian businessmen, can't even call them businessmen, crooks. They stole the names, and the local courts are protecting them. More examples. They want to steal the brands like Zola. owned by Cyprus company CZFV, and the Ching Ching brand from China. They're trying to steal it from the Chinese. Chinese company King Lucky Food. you know, Even such giants as Gillette are under fire. I've been using Gillette for my, to shave all my life, and it's the best, I think, in the shaving business. Gillette is a victim in Russia. The brand left Russia, so the Russians are saying that they're trying to re-register this brand Gillette, saying, hey, the Westerners, the evil Americans, the evil West, they don't need it anymore. They left Russia. Let's teach them a lesson. And that's how they represent their case in court. Russia has turned into the wild, wild West when foreign business, does not have protection. The rules of the game, they exist, but they're rigged, okay? The crooks rigged them for themselves. Over the months, I've heard this opinion in Russia when I spoke to Russians. Many times, many people said, once the war with Ukraine is over, things will go back to normal. But they will not. Russia is a burnt land right now for most Western businesses. After what's been done to the business people who trusted Russians, who invested in Russia, who built in Russia, who manufactured in Russia, they were simply thrown out. They were betrayed. They had everything stolen. They were robbed blind. And there's going to be cases in business books studied at the university all over the world with this message: never trust Russia for investments. It's not a safe business environment. It's a moralless country. It's moralless people, So no, things will not go back to normal overnight. After what's been done to good people and their businesses who trusted Russia and came in and, like I said, trusted Russia with their businesses, the trust would have to be earned back. And how Russian people will be doing that, I have no clue. I'm looking at what's happening now, and I'm thinking to myself, they will not. With the way they have been acting, and I'm not talking about the government. The government's going to be gone, okay? That's a done deal. That's just a matter of time. No, I'm looking at people, because people are going to save Russia or not to save Russia. If Russia is to be saved, that's just people's business. And I'm looking at them, and I'm asking myself a question: how are they going to do that? How are they going to rebuild their own country? How are they going to rebuild the trust of other countries in them? And folks, honestly, I don't see the answer right now. This has been my message for today. Thank you so much for coming. Fantastic to have everyone. This is my honor. Thank you. I would love to hear your feedback, your opinion. What do you think of my message? And I would like to invite everyone to join me in the live stream chat. I'm turning it on right now. While I am doing it, I'm asking you to do me a favor. Please help me spread this message by making reposts in your social media accounts. That helps a lot. And if you would like to buy me coffee or a tea, I wouldn't mind. Not necessarily, but would be welcome. Thank you so very much. The chat is on, and everyone is here. Fantastic to see everyone. Thank you for coming, folks. If you're here for the first time, this place, this community, this channel has the best moderation team in the world. I guarantee you that. Lorna, Mommy K, Bob S, Harry Potnan, and Amir Fazat. Great people and fantastic mods. Thank you, friends, for coming back. And the usual suspects. And somehow Mr. Dirk Misler, he's number one like so many times. Dirk, how do you do that? Welcome, the usual suspects. Fantastic to see everyone. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me with another message. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time. How did you like my message? Did you learn anything useful for you? Let me know. And do that in all caps and put inside Russia after that sign so I see your message highlighted in a large orange box. Much easier for me to read it. So thank you. Just like Harry Potnan did. He said hello inside Russia and catches my eye right like this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mario from Croatia. Hello, hello. Corey from Dunfermline. Dunfermline. I'm sorry. Well, Corey, fantastic to see you. Thank you. Chirper, hello, hello. Baker Stock, howdy. Angela McNaught, Roy Cousins, Ken Tyler, howdy. SVR, howdy from Switzerland. Wow, Switzerland. Fantastic country. Geoffrey from Vero Beach, Florida. Fantastic place, always sunny and nice, good weather. Thank you for a couple super chats. Andrew Baker, thank you so very much. And Daniel McInnes, I have tea with you every stream. Thank you for excellent efforts. Thank you so much. This is not tea today, but I'll be drinking it after the stream. Thank you. Cheers to you, Daniel. Thank you. We have White Lightning 777, sponsor for 12 months. Thank you so much for sponsoring for such a long time. And it's deep inside Russia. It's a high tier. Thank you, friend. Is Russia just trying to be 100% self-sufficient and purposely scaring away foreigners? If so, why? I was waiting for this question, sorry. I was waiting for this question. Fantastic question. Thank you. No. You see what's going on? There is no formal agenda in the Russian government. In the USSR, there was no goal of the country. There was no national idea. None. Zilch. Nada. Nothing. Russia has been used by Putin's friends, Putin himself, by this gang, and before him by politicians as a place to rape, to steal from, to make money in any way possible. And if it means leaving burnt land behind, no one cared. Guess why? They have not considered Russia their country, their home. They don't love the country, okay? They are not proud to be Russians. For one simple reason. They steal in Russia. In Russia it's called making money, but in real life in real world, it's called stealing from people's pockets, from the Russian budget, from the taxpayers. So they steal from the taxpayers. They take their money, they transfer to what they call the civilized countries: France, the UK, the USA, Canada, Spain. Spain is very popular due to very nice climate. To Portugal, like Germany, to many European countries, when they consider civilized people, civilized countries, where they enjoy protection of the authorities, where they enjoy that everyone is protected by law and order, okay? So, no, answering your question, they are not deliberately, purposely scaring away foreigners. They're just letting the crooks run wild. They're letting KGB, because KGB is involved in many cases of illegal property transfer, okay? They're just letting individuals enrich themselves illegally, okay? They don't care. That's what they're doing. There's no purpose in that, okay? They don't care about being 100 They don't care about Russia whatsoever. All they care is about their pocket, okay? Their pocket, they stuff it with money and leave. And hey, I don't care. There's burnt land behind me. It's for the Russians to take care of. Peasants, serfs, you know. And this is what you probably don't hear this explanation often, but that's what the truth, the reality of Russia. I know that country well. I lived there for 20 years, almost 20 years. I lived there most of my adult life, and I can compare it with other countries. Why do you think that most rich Russians live in south of France, in London, in coastal Spain, you know, in Miami? Why? Why don't they live in Russia? Okay? Because they don't consider Russia a worthy country for living. That's why. Atomic Electron, thank you so much. I think it's just they don't care. I can steal, so I will steal. How it became that way or what consequences will be, I can steal. This is so I do. I made a stream. Why do Russians steal? I explained that. In a nutshell, they don't consider it their country, their land, their property. They don't consider it their home. You don't steal from your home, okay? You don't steal from your family, but you steal from the government. And it goes back to the USSR, you know, because it was okay to steal. It was proudful to steal from the government. Government steals from you, and you steal from the government. You're the man. So, Atomic Electron, that's in a nutshell. Mr. Kaliskin, no way. Chicago, currently 81 degrees Fahrenheit. That's definitely wrong. It doesn't get hot like this in late October. Well, I guess it does, but it's not. It's not. No. The live stream chat is on, and I have the usual problem, so... Ooh, Frank in Texas, thank you so much for coming back, first of all, and then second for gifting 5 people sponsorship. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Geoff Bond, 5 from East London. Hey, are there many Russians living around you? The rich ones, I mean. Greetings from Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Daniel Cross, thank you so much for Mr. Daniel. Thank you so much for joining us. Fantastic. I love when people check in from different places. I mean, our geography is the entire world. Oy. E. Austin, I respect the Kremlin for it was the only government website that has specific report corruption page. Hate to disappoint you, but they use it for a different purpose. They actually collect these reports for corruption, and then so they know who does corruption, and then they go ahead and reward those people with medals or honors and things like that. The more you steal, the higher honor you get. Keith from Hawaii, howdy, howdy. Wild West London, howdy, Roy Cousins. Well, actually, you know what? London, among Russians rich, considered probably the most civilized place to live. Okay, and the English are considered the most civilized people. Okay, that's like the gold standard of living. White Lightning, thank you so much. Why was Putin's heart attack medical information leaked? Even if Putin dies, wouldn't they just use his body doubles? Isn't medical data classified? Friend, if he had a heart attack, do you think if he really had a heart attack, do you think it would be leaked? I don't think so. Mohammed, thank you so much from the UK. Lukoil executive Vladimir Nekrasov died of a heart attack yesterday. This is the third Lukoil executive that has died, killed since February 2022. In March 2022, Lukoil called for the end of the war. Will Lukoil be stolen by the Russian government? Yes and yes. Thank you so much. I saw this news literally before turning on the stream, okay? To say that death is suspicious is to say it'd be like to say nothing at all, you know. I mean, it's obviously that something happened. This guy replaced the previous executive who died at the same age. The Nekrasov guy died of a heart attack at the age of 66. Not even a heart attack. It was сердечная недостаточность. Okay, it's different from heart attack. It's not like it's a cardiac arrest or. Hang on, let me get exact translation. Сердечная недостаточность. Heart failure, not heart attack. Okay, I guess there's a difference. So anyway, this guy died of heart failure, and he was 66, and he replaced the guy who died of heart failure in September of last year, I believe, 2022, at the age of 67. I mean, do I have to say anything else? And it seems like Lukoil has been targeted, and these are warnings perhaps to the shareholders. I mean, all those guys are shareholders, just the minor ones, you know, not the major ones. Perhaps it's a warning to like, hey, it's time to part with your company, something like that. But anyway, Mohammed, thank you so much for letting me know and us know this. It's a very important information, and I definitely will. I'll be talking about that later. Okie dokie. Heartless people can't have heart attack. No, they don't. He didn't have a heart attack. He just simply had a heart failure. The Highwayman, thank you so much. Sponsor for 10 months. Thank you, friend. Greg, I was looking for your message all over yesterday. New Jagermeister. Now with only 3% chance of going blind. New motto. Play Russian roulette in a glass. Greetings from Texas. Good one. Can I take this for the crazy Russian news? That's funny. Let me make a note of that. Take a screenshot. I'll quote you. Atomic Electron thought Lukoil was already stolen. We knew Lukoil guy in Ukraine. He was very kind to us. This process happened a long time ago, I think. I don't think so. I know that a couple shareholders of Lukoil ran like hell, fled after the war started. Thing is, Lukoil, my knowledge, I'm not 100% positive, but from what I know about Lukoil is that there's the founder of the company and the major shareholder. His name is Vagit Alikperov, okay? And he has quite a few partners, minor partners, so to speak. One of the partners, the former owner of football club Spartak, Leonid Fedun, fled Russia, sold his share, and then a couple more shareholders. Most likely the ones who did not do that, they ended up with heart failures. As far as I know, that the major shareholder is still in charge of the company. Vagit Alikperov, his name. Okie dokie. English only, agreed. Sebastian Forestier, just subscribe as insider to tell you I love you as brother in Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. For some reason, I can't send super chat. I have no clue. But I see that you've signed up as a sponsor, which very appreciated. Thank you. Daniel Bosick, cheers from Ontario, Canada. Fantastic place. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello again from Massachusetts. George Ruberty. You're welcome here. Thank you so much. Mass is a good place. Visited there many, many times. We would just, when we needed action, we would just hop in the car or into a train and they would just drive down to Boston, right down to Boston, and there's plenty of action there. All kinds of stuff going on. E. Austin, I thought that only happened here. Where? In the USA? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Why don't you come pack up and come live in Russia for 6 months, as a normal person. Walk the streets, try to do business, and then come back and tell me what's going on. Tell us all, like, how do you find living in your home compared to living in Russia? Northern Grace, wow, fantastic. One of the original viewers, even before the war. I remember. Thank you so much for coming back. I remember how you were part of the walks in Rostov and Moscow. Cheryl Watley, Tucson, Arizona. I did meet one very nice Russian lady there a few years back. Well, I'm not saying there aren't any nice Russians, good Russians. Quite on the contrary, if you look at the Russians who are here, they all are good Russians in my eyes because they left Russia due to the political positions. They are loud. They do things. So the ones who left, they mostly are good Russians. Atomic Electron, thank you again. How do we know which Western business are legit still in Russia and which are stolen logos? Seen some YouTube with KFC. Well, KFC is not no more in Russia, It's Rostix. KFC is gone. Really surprised, wondered about if it's fake KFC or not. What do you think? KFC is out of Russia. It's sold business on pennies to dollar. And the company called Rostix bought it. So it's Rostix now, something like that. So if you see KFC, I mean, it's not KFC. The only KFC you can get in Russia now, if, for example, there's plenty of KFC. Personally, this is my fast food of choice. I love chicken wings, the only thing, and the chef burger, I think that's good. But so if the only way you can get them in Russia, if someone calls me up and says, well, can you make me a delivery? And I'll go to the closest KFC, I'll buy a bunch of stuff, I'll have them, pack it, I'll drive to the airport, give someone on the plane, and they'll bring them to Moscow, that package, and someone will take it in Moscow. That's how they can get KFC, and that's pretty much the only way now. So, and of course, someone can put a brand, KFC, okay? But is that KFC? I've seen here, there's no McDonald's in Uzbekistan. But I've seen the McDonald's logo on some holes in the walls that do shawarmas, like kebab meat style, McDonald's. Is that real McDonald's? No. Chat is super fast tonight. By the way, how many people are there? Almost 2,000. Thank you so much. Lord Command. Love the name. Lord Commander Argentius. Thank you. Why in Stalin's shriveled right hand is McDonald's replacement in Russia called Tasty Pea? I don't know. That's a good question. I made an entire video about that, Hang on. I'll send you a link in the right here. Just give me a second. Так, hang on. The video is called Sad, period, and hang on 1 second. Check this out. I've asked myself this very same question. Why in the world they would call fast food joint, a chain, a restaurant, Tasty period? Yeah, check it out. Regards from Sweden, Thailand. Whoa. Thank you so much, friend. Jeffrey, tak. Atomic Electron was KFC logo in the restaurant and video. Well, perhaps older video because they bought KFC. KFC sold out this summer. Perhaps some stores kept the logos. I'm not sure, but it's not there. And I'm pretty sure that KFC pulled out as soon as they could. It took them a long time, but still, it's not easy to leave. Hey, it took me, myself, personally, about 16 months. Gosh, not even 16 months. It took me, 18 months to move my entire family from Russia to Uzbekistan. And I wanted to go. I wish I could go on February 24th of 2022. If I had a chance, I'd go right then. But it involved so much preparation, so many changes, okay? And it's just my family. Imagine a huge chain of restaurants, okay? So KFC pulled out as soon as they could. It just took them a long time. And other businesses, some businesses are still in Russia. But you know what? I'm 100% sure that except for a few scumbags, not too many. Okay, most businesses are legit, and most businesses are there because they cannot leave for some reason. Okay. Cheryl Wetley, you said you knew someone from Russia in Tucson. Not from Russia. There was a lady. Not lady. I have a friend of Tucson, Arizona, but he's not Russian. He's American. Friends, Crusader Damien, howdy, friend. Thank you for coming. And the best questions usually come from you. And let's see. Let's give this one a chance. When this ends and the Russian fever breaks, do you believe that Russia will allow the West to help democratize the Russian and deprogram the Putin Jugend? Man, how do you always come up with questions like this? This is not easy, okay? I apologize. Now, I think when the fever breaks, people are gonna be so down. They're gonna be so shocked and devastated. If they really wake up from lethargic sleep, open their eyes, and realize what's been done, a normal human being cannot just go on living as usual. There's a great movie out there. I recommend everyone watch it. It's not a movie, it's a miniseries. It's made in Germany, and it's called Unsere Vaters, unsere Mutters. Our mothers, our fathers. And it's a story of 4 friends, young friends. They all meet in the beginning of World War II, beginning of invasion of the Soviet Union. And they consider that what was going on in Germany is absolutely normal. And just like in Russia, it's not going to last long. The Eastern Front, it's going to be over in a couple months, And they're so patriotic. They love Germany so much. They sign up. One girl signs up and she becomes a nurse and she goes to the front lines. A guy becomes a soldier, and couples, I think one stays in and the story unfolds, and they see what really is going on, and anyway, fast forward to the end, they all come back to the very same place after the war ends, And before they were so cheerful, they were full of hopes. They talked to, like, oh, they were sharing their hopes and dreams. And when they came back, they couldn't even speak. They looked at each other absolutely crushed and devastated after, going over this experience of participating in the war. And I think exactly how Russians gonna be feeling, how those people from that movie, unsere Mutters, unsere Vaters. And that's the answer to your question, I don't think they're gonna be so, I don't believe in anything. I think they're gonna be so down. They're just gonna be taking it day by day to survive, to coping with depression, PTSD, and things like that. And they wouldn't care much whoever would help to come in, whoever would have to come in and help them or do something to them. I think it wouldn't matter much. Okay, now they're gonna be feeling exactly like in that German movie serial. Sebastian Forestier, thank you so much from Switzerland. Testing super chat from mobile phone. Thank you. Receiving on this end in Uzbekistan. As I could not send from computer, one suggestion for you: take at least 1 day per week to rest. Thank you so much. I sometimes do. I miss streams due to some reasons, not just to rest, but something happens either with my family, kids, or sometimes I have technical problems, and on average I miss about 4 streams per month, and that's pretty much 1 day per week. So, but thank you so much. Thank you for becoming the member of Inside Russia. Thank you for super chatting, and thanks for suggestion. Thank you. Jeffrey S. I knew you were going to ask that sooner or later. Kostya, I haven't seen the turquoise boss shirt lately. Did you spill food and stain it? No, it's in the perfect, pristine conditions, waiting to be worn. So, Danish company. Did I say Dutch? I apologize. Oh, hang on 1 second. Hey, I felt so bad about making this mistake. I think I always make mistake Dutch and Danish. Yes, Danish company. I'm sorry. From Denmark, not from the Netherlands. Anyway, I'm not allergic to microphone, because what happened, I took this thing off, Terminator microphone, and I used it like this, and I still get allergies. So I washed this, I changed this, so it's not from the microphone. I don't know what this is. I quit trying to figure out what that allergy is from. Jason Carney, thank you so much for coming. You're like the angel of Inside Russia. Thank you so much for such a huge support. I don't know what to tell you. From the bottom of my heart, from me and Natasha, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thanks for sponsoring 5 people. Thank you so much. Folks, let me wrap it up. Northern Grace, we actually did speak seriously of this thing. I thought I had allergy from the cover of the microphone. And this is a different cover, so not a joke. Anyway. Susie, I agree, Jason is absolutely the best. I agree with you. Let me grab my notebook. And it means that it's time to wrap up the stream and pray. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I hope you enjoyed the message today. strange and sad situation in Russia. But anyway, thank you. I invite everyone to join me in prayer. Thank you so much. Let's do it. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving us roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Thank you so much for keeping them safe and healthy. Please continue to do that. Thank you for allowing us to rely on you. Dear God, please help to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country and the people have suffered so much, and that's got to stop. Please reach out and feel the hearts and souls of people who are responsible and capable of this decision to stop the bloodshed with love and mercy and remorse, and warm up their stone hearts, make them soft, make them wake up from their lethargic sleep and see what's been happening, and so they finally decide to stop the bloodshed. And please help every single Ukrainian who's suffered due to this terrible tragedy. Answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Soothe their souls, please. Dear Lord, please help my country, Russia. Assemble your army of the strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, and send it like a heavenly avalanche onto this earth to get rid of the demons that have hijacked Russia and been ruling Russia. Have angels run Russia. Have angels make it peaceful, loving, loved, respected, and respecting. Dear Lord, please help those who are traveling, send them safe travels. Those who are seeking for asylum, running away from evil, please help all single mothers who are raising their children and struggling, trying to make their ends meet. Please send help their way. Send those who are helping Ukrainians. Help those who are helping Ukrainians. God bless them. Please help the Ukrainians who are suffering from the attacks, Russian missiles. Send safety and have not one single person hurt. Please help everyone who is sick, depressed, hungry, homeless, jobless, betrayed, addicted, having troubles with faith, not feeling good about himself or herself. Please help everyone who needs your help. Fill their hearts and souls with love and show them your mercy. Have them feel you and your love so they feel better about their lives. They will see rays of light in their lives, and they will have hope for the better. So please help everyone in need. Thank you so much for allowing us to form this community and pray every single day. Please help everyone who is currently praying along with me or simply watching us pray. Answer everyone's prayers and make everyone's wish come true. Thank you so much. I'd like to ask for a few people, and I'll start with the little girl. Her name is Sarah. She needs your help. She needs recovery. Please do whatever needs to be done so she recovers. She is well, and she goes back to her family, to her home. Please help her parents who are praying nonstop, 24/7. Give them strength, and please answer their prayers. Please help Kyle E.'s wife, Joseph Johnson, Rhonda McGillis, Hike Homestead, CB, Ann Larson's daughter, Hannah, Morgan L., Terry Carter's former in-laws. Let Louise' last chapter on earth be filled with joy. Jason Connor, Janice Stevenson, Jay Spike, Sam from Kiev, Buzz Salmon, Leslie Fleming's daughter, Wayne, Anna in Poland, Scan family's members who are not feeling well and need recovery, Dave, Dawn, Summers 613, Mother, Mike O'Neill, Julia Haney, Susie Mailer, Vasilin Lubomirov, Liz Dumbrell, Darla, White Lightning, George Ruberty, Patty L., Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Svetlana, Linda, Randolph, Grace Philosophy, Lisa, Liz, Karen, the Highwayman, David Porter and his family and everyone in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Joe and Lee McMahon, Taylor Fleming, Meta Spencer, Pamela J., and Shirley, Debbie, and Jen Ellen. Thank you so very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, thank you for coming again. Thank you for giving me an honor of seeing you and talking with you and listening to me. And thank you for being here. It's fantastic to see everyone. I would like to say again, you are absolutely awesome and you rock. And before I end the stream, I'd like to ask you to say something along with me. As usual, please say it out loud as you can. And that is, Carthago delenda est.